Drum roll, please, because Ableton 11 is here. Finally! It's been very long anticipated. We've all been waiting for Ableton to finally start comping. It's 2021 and it's finally here. This should have been here long time ago. But anyways, since it's here, let's go ahead and cover Ableton. I'm not going to talk about every single new change, but I'm going to talk about the main stuff that I think can change your workflow. So let's get started. Just so we're not all confused and just flying everywhere with new changes, I think it's best to stay organized. We'll just do the top part, then we'll come to the left, then we'll do the bottom, then we'll do the middle side, okay? I did not produce this track. It's just a track that loaded up with the new Ableton file, and I thought it sounded nice, so we'll go ahead and just use this. So starting from the top, nothing really changes in this area. I think this was already a feature in the old one. If you double tap the tempo, it goes to the default 120 range. So all this stays the same. The next area we have right here is this top part. Now this is called the follow. Let's just say you're zoomed in, and as your music is playing, it will literally do this. But now, also the bottom part moves. So if we come down here and kind of do follow through, zoom in a bit, watch this. You see that? So this part moves as well towards the right. So that's that. This timing stuff stays the same. Of course, this would stay the same. These all stay the same, and this also stays the same. Now, there are some new changes in this area. So I'm going to skip these ones because these are all the same as the older version. But right here is, in my opinion, very useful information. It shows you the average CPU you're using, and then the current CPU you're using. And then, you could toggle between the two right here. And then this CPU overload button would appear right here. If you're having like a CPU overload issue, that's where you'll see it right there. And then another way to now, I used to use a lot of control, the comma, and then you get to pull up the preferences, but no longer do you have to do that. You can just come here and do configure audio, and the same thing will show up here. Now, there is one more thing I want to mention is, in my opinion, also really dope. If you use Ableton Live, like for live, right? Like live performances. Like say, for example, a drummer is playing, right? Boom, boom, ka, and you're a pianist, and you're like, oh my God, the metronome in my session in the computer is faster than what the drummer is doing. So now you're trying to, catch up to the drummer. So now what you could do is if you click on link tempo and MIDI, you could enable this right here, show tempo toggle. And then when you click follow, after you go ahead and enable everything, even if the drummer is speeding up or going too slow, it literally catches up to him. So that means the BPM right here is going to be moving every time, the drummer might be going too fast or too slow. That, in my opinion, is groundbreaking for sure. The next section we have is the browser section. Tons of changes here. Ableton did a great job showing what each new plugin would do. If you look at their website, and I'll put the link in the description below, they included new devices like the hybrid reverb. The point about this reverb is you're gonna have basically a fake reverb and a real reverb. And so you'll put like the real one up here and then the fake one down here, and then you could just blend the two. And I think that's just great because I love using the convolution reverb a lot. But the thing about it is it's very CPU hogging, like wow. But they did some improvements on this that allows the great sound effects, but without all the crazy, CPU hogging. Guys, like honestly, this is why I love Ableton. Like literally, people always ask me like, what do you put on your master? What do you put on your channel? Blah, 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 blah. Honestly, I'll say 80% of the plugins I use are actually from Ableton. The other 20 is like, okay, external sounds, and then samples. But in the end of the day, literally what's processing, what I'm using with processing, that's why my sessions could be huge and then it's not like too CPU hoggy, is because I'm using native instrument plugins, which are just great. I don't know any other software. Yeah, FL has some nice things, but like in terms of like quality plugins that are native, this is the way to go. In addition to the new packs, they also have new instruments they introduced. And you could take a look here. Again, you could take a look online on the website, also in the description below. The other one that stood out to me that I thought was pretty cool is just bouncy notes. Just a bunch of like, it's literally just sound bouncing. So a lot of these are sound designing, more type of instruments. So great for film and anything else you may be doing on some Foley or whatever it may be. So that's it for the instruments. Another thing I want to mention is underneath the audio effects. I can't believe these guys finally did this. I literally did this same thing under the collections in my other computer. And I just think it's great that this is now here. So it's now organized, like how they have it in Pro Tools. So, you click this, you get all your effects, drive, reverb, blah, blah, blah. And while we're at it, this is where the hybrid reverb is going to be, right? This is the one I was talking about earlier. You got your real reverb and then your fake reverb, and then you can blend the two. And then here comes another new instrument, the spectral resonator we talked about earlier. And then there's another cool change that Ableton did. Now, we used to have the phasers and the flanger and the chorus all by themselves, but now they merged it into one, which I thought was pretty nice. So if we click right here, you see classic, ensemble, vibrato, and then on the other one, the phaser and the flanger will be together. I'm definitely going to be using these. Again, I use 80% of the time Ableton stuff. I'll say 100% of all my productions, Ableton stuff. So honestly, it's just, yeah, this is really nice. Next, we're going to talk about the MIDI part. A lot of the older stuff is still here, but something to mention is they added new stuff that deals with like the MPE, which is just another external controller. Now you have something like envelope MIDI, which I thought was pretty nice. So, if you have an external sound, you could control the ADSR to it. I'm going to have another video on just explaining sound design and ADSR soon. So make sure you subscribe and check back. So I think this is going to be really, really useful. If you're enjoying and learning a lot, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and let's keep going. Another thing to mention while we're at it is Max for Live. I actually use Max for Live, but a lot of people don't even know what that is. But it allows you to basically create your own, if I may say, plugins, but within Ableton. And I use it a lot for some other things. So they improved it. Now, the one thing I always ran away sometimes from dropping Max for Live into my productions is that it's very CPU hog. Like, it's a CPU hogger, like legit. And so now they improved it so it's a lot more seamlessly when you're downloading them into your project files. So A1 for that on Ableton. Okay, and then another thing to mention here is, so all these look the same. Now, grooves, long time ago, we had to go through, a MIDI clip and then trigger, grooves from there. But now it's right here to the side. I love it. You click on it, you get to hear it, the kind of groove you're going to get. This is just going to change the game. I'm excited that it's there. So it's more accessible, which just means it's right there and you're more likely to use it because you don't have to go through all the loops just to get this. And then they also created a templates portion where, some people use templates. If you want to put like a rock template, hip hop template, whatever kind of genre, whatever type of music you're doing, now there's a template section. So that's another really good change, I think, on Ableton side. Another new addition is the packs. Now, this I thought was pretty dope as well. If you look online, on your account, they'll usually have packs there. Now the packs are here, just not downloaded. So you can get to download them and install them directly from online instead of going all the way online and then, bringing them over. Now they're all here. Now let's talk about the bottom side, right? So let's go ahead and click. Let's start off with a MIDI clip, okay? So if we have a MIDI clip, this is what you're going to see. If you notice, this area right here is a huge, huge change. this area used to be very, very simple looking, but now it looks like a lot happening, but I'm pretty sure with time, this will become second nature. Now, this is still your the beginning place of where your sound starts, and then the end, right? So that's the length from right here to right here. Now, one thing I love about this new section is this loop button. The loop button, once you click it, now you could just drag it out. It took before I had to, consolidate it and then save it, and then I could push it out. But now you just click loop and you could just literally save all that step. Now you literally just click loop and it's automatically loop. I love that. That's just awesome. And then we have the positions, which is where it is in relation to the song. So another great thing is the scale. Now, you could just click scale and it'll highlight to you all the keys within a scale. That's just cheating and just awesome, right? I mean, FL people are just doing this all along. You just pick the key you want and there it is. That's just great. And then you get to fold the scale. Oh my God, this is just beautiful. Like seriously. So the next section right here, I'm not gonna talk about these ones because they're very similar. It's just the outlook looks different, but it's the same as the previous one. Okay, so we'll just skip this. Now we'll come to this area right here. Chants, it gives a human feel. So let's say you have a drum loop and then you have a hi-hat track and you're like tick, 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 tick. It sounds so like stale. This is where you click chants. So then you get this variation in like, like it's just like randomized, and then you could randomize it as well. Now jumping into the audio, the same outlook on the left hand side. Now, these are the same. You have your same warp settings. You still have the same settings right here. These are all the same. Nothing changes here. So the next one, we're gonna look at macros. Macros have been very, very much put on steroids, and it's on another level. So before, all we had was 8 macros that we're able to assign. Now you could go like up to, what is this, 16? Wow. Like, so now you have more control. And not only that, you could create what they call macro variations where, so let's say this is new. So we could say we want all these macros to happen. Let's say this is the drop, right? And then let's duplicate this. Let's move some things around like this. And then let's say this should be the verse. So if I click this play button, then everything within that section will now play this macros. All right, so finally we're gonna talk about comping. Like, whoa, like Ableton, why didn't you come up with this earlier, right? I get it. I feel like sometimes they didn't do it because they have an idea that a lot of people who are using this are electronic based, and we tend to do more like chopping or just like vocals from somewhere else and bringing it in. And then a lot of times it's like Pro Tools in the studio that you're recording. But there are times when I don't want to work on Pro Tools because Pro Tools is so manual. Like you have to do this just to get this, just to get automation, blah, blah, blah. You got to arm it. Like you don't want to go through all that. You want to actually record in Ableton. So I'm going to try to explain this as simple as possible. So let's go to the vocal we have here. Standing in the rain, water on my window pane. I'm going to pitch this up just so I make it obvious. So it looks like I already pitched it up. So this is the way it works. This is going to be, let's just call this mains, right? Or here, just for easy sakes, we'll call it final, just so you're not confused, right? And then lanes are what Ableton calls basically the takes, all right? Now, this was take 1, take 2, take 3. I don't think you can rename them, so let's just say take. We'll call it lane take, so you get used to the word. Lane take 3, right? And then we'll come lane take 2, and then we'll do lane take 1, right? So lane take 2 was the high pitch one I pitched up, right? And then this is a regular one, and another take. Now, how do we pick our best takes and then push it to the final tab? We select it, press enter. You see it pushes it up. And then we could use this speaker icon to toggle, or press T on your keyboard. Okay, that would toggle between the two. And so let's hear it out a little bit. Standing in the rain, further down, 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 down. Okay, so that's that. So let's drag it out a bit. Let's pick the next one. Okay, so we're gonna highlight, press enter. Okay, there it is. Now let's hear it all together. This new workflow in Ableton is everything. Two nice features that to me I think are just great. One is the ability to link tracks so you could edit them both at the same time, right? So let's say, for example, we have here, let's just duplicate this, and we'll also create another check pump here, right? So what we'll do is highlight both of the tracks, and then we'll link them right here, link tracks. And then you'll see this little link icons on the side. Now, when you do something, it affects both. See that? This also works with MIDI. Okay, so next let's talk about automation. Automation did get some changes to it. If you highlight a certain section, doesn't matter where, right? Now, if you right click and you look all the way in the bottom right here, you'll say insert shape. So now shapes are literally done for you. Like, wow. So if you want to do like a fade out, this will be a nice one right here. And wow, like this is another really nice feature. I thought to mention it in case anybody doesn't know, but now you have automation shapes. All right, so let's talk about other notable mentions. Ableton now crashes less, but I don't know if that's a good thing or bad thing, because I used to always say, if your Ableton crashes, that means you have a great song, right? So I don't know. Is that a good thing that they took it away? I don't know. But yes, obviously we want it better off. And then the second thing is, it used to be before, let's say it crashes, and usually sometimes the crashes are due to updates, which is really funny. By the time it crashes and you're trying to open Ableton again, it was like, please wait, it's updating, blah, 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 blah. And then now you have to sit there, and inspiration is leaving your soul and all that crap. So now it updates behind the scenes, and then it will trigger, I think it's somewhere up here, I don't remember where, but it's going to trigger and let you know, hey, there's a new update. Do you want to install it? So it'll still download it, but you have to pick whether you want it to be installed or not. Now, I do want to mention, just in case you guys don't know this, you could go on Ableton.com and try 11 for free for 90 days. That's what I have, actually. Try it for 90 days. It's going to be the full version. You don't have to put your credit card or anything. Free download. And you get to test out everything new about Ableton. And another thing I want to mention, just in case you guys don't know this, when you go on the account, you're gonna get discounts, right? If you have previous versions. But the part I didn't know is you don't have to pay the full price now. Now you could pay monthly payments if you want, and you could just, I don't know if this is gonna be through a credit card or what, but the point is, you could pay with it over time. And don't forget they have educational discounts as well. Again, I didn't touch every new update. I just touched on the major updates that I think an average producer or songwriter will use, right? So I will make more videos on how to use certain features like audio units, MIDI effects, and how to use Ableton even on a basic level. Let me know what your favorite new update is. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button so you don't miss out on those videos. And as always, don't forget to make a hit. I'll see you guys on the next video.